Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Mondays. This is episode 21. For those of you who are new to this series of videos, Mordian Mondays is all about documenting the progress of the Great Mordian Restoration Project, which is my attempt to completely restore my Mordian 50th Rifles Army, which is primarily a pure infantry force. There's about 300 to 400 infantry models that I need to strip down, repaint, and in many cases repair. And because the reason for this is because I've been collecting Mordians for a long time. In fact, the Mordian 50th were almost my original guard regiment, and they were the poster child for this channel, and the reason I started doing YouTube, and the reason why it's called Mordian Glory. Problem is, I've had the army for a really long time, and when I painted the majority of the army, I wasn't a very good painter, and as a result, most of the models look pretty bad. So what I'm doing is I'm restoring them so that I can use them as my channel sort of studio army, the one I can use in the majority of my battle reports, because I've not been using them as much, guys, simply because they don't look very good. Now this week was a bit of a slow one on the hobby progress. A lot of real world and also hobby world things going on that have been drawing my attention away. Real world, obviously, just work, the normal stuff. Hobby wise, I've been following quite closely the Black Templar updates for Psychic Awakening, Faith and Fury, and I have to say, Black Templars got they're a bit of a hidden gem, guys, is all I can say. Black Templars are a bit of a hidden gem, and I think that my Black Templars amazingly might become my go-to tournament army. Obviously, I could use my Steel Legion as well, but in terms of if I want to go to tournament with a good chance of winning them, I think Black Templars might be a bit of a submarine army, which would be fantastic. But I still got some hobby progress done. I got this Commissar painted up. Now this Commissar is now out of production and is very rare, and is also a very popular Commissar. So I was very, very lucky to be able to grab one of these on eBay for a reasonable price. I got this one for about the same price you can get the current monopose sort of plastic Commissar. As you notice, his base is not finished in this picture. He actually took these pictures a couple of days ago before doing the video. I can now confirm that his base is completed. I have to say this is one of my favourite Commissar models. I think it's probably the best, if not the second best Commissar model that Games Workshop ever made. It is so Commissar. That bolt pistol outstretched, one hand behind the back. That bolt pistol could easily be pointing at the back of a guardsman's head, ready to execute him, or pointing down in a duelist fashion against a foul Xenos or heretic. So absolutely, it's just this model just oozes 40k and oozes Commissar. The only quibble I have with the model is the riding crop. Like, I kind of get that Commissars are meant to be sort of brutal, but I don't know, it comes across a bit funny. I actually never realised this model had a riding crop until I got my hands on one and painted it. I just thought he had his hand behind his back. If I was to change this model, I'd definitely consider just clipping off the riding crop. Honestly, that's what I do. It'd be difficult to do, to scrape it away without damaging the rest of the model, which is why I didn't do it. But clipping off the riding crop, I think, would definitely improve the model, because then he just got his hand behind his back, duelist pose, fantastic. I'm also halfway through painting a Ministorum Priest. It's one of the ones that I think Games Workshop still makes. It's the one with the book that's on a standard, essentially. He's got the chainsaw and he's got the backpack with the auto gun on. But halfway through that guy, done the primary colours, need to do some of the fine detail, but he should hopefully be ready in time for next week. So yeah, I have spent the majority of 1 week basically painting a model and a half, but I realised I wouldn't get both done, so I really wanted to focus on getting this Commissar done to a high standard. Few interesting decisions I had to make. So you see a lot of the models out there go for sort of edging on the black Commissar coat. I didn't want to do that. Now I am I'm a recent convert to edge highlighting, and a recent convert to those advanced painting techniques. However, with my Commissars, I want them to be jet black. And if you look at the other two commissars that I've done, their coats are jet black. They really stand out from the rest of the army. And that's what I went for. But I of course, I still want my commissars to stand out, but to fit in with the colour scheme. So if you notice, like with my other two commissars, I have done his trousers blue, the same as my Mordians, and his jacket, underneath jacket, that's green, and I've edge highlighted that and dry brushed it. So I have applied my new techniques. But yeah, I wanted this guy to stand out. Now I am planning on running this guy as a Lord Commissar with bolt pistol and power sword. But I think originally you could very easily run him as just a Commissar with bolt pistol. You could easily do that. Fluff behind this guy is really interesting. So because I love to come up with fluff for some of my favourite models, and the fluff behind this guy, I actually wrote a little fluff piece for him, and he's an interesting character, to say the least. Interesting character. So I'll just pull up. I wrote it down, so I'll just pull it up. Here we go. So the new Lord Commissar Bremerdan Gorst, there's a reference in there for anyone who gets it, put it down in the comment below, has arrived to oversee the continued recruitment and training of the 2nd Battalion in the Mordian 50th Rifles. Gorst embodies the best and worst aspects of the Commissariat. He is unflinching in the face of alien and chaos horrors, a skilled swordsman, and an inspiring orator. He always leads from the front and was promoted to Lord Commissar after the successful bayonet charge against the Tau on Sobel 6. This action saw the entire Xenos force crushed, for only 87% casualties for the Guard in return, with a badly wounded Gorst slaying the enemy Fireblade commander in single combat. At the same time, he is completely intolerant of any infractions and personally enforces the strictest discipline. Many guards have been executed by Gorst for minor offences such as non-regulation facial hair or dust on uniform buttons. Sector commanders transferred Gorst to the 50th Rifles in the hope that the Iron Guard's rigorous adherence to following orders, discipline and, of course, smart uniforms will temper some of his worst characteristics. Now, that's just a little bit of fluff that I came up with. There's a couple of references in there, Bremerdan Gorst, Sobel being related to being really strict on minor infractions. There's a couple of references there. If you get them, put them down in the comments below, or have a good guess. It's what I kind of like. It's meant to be a little tongue in cheek because he was promoted to Lord Commissar after a successful bayonet charge against the Tau. He only lost 87% of the men that followed him. Which is actually is terrible. Bit of a Guard meme there. And and how amazing, he slew a Tau Fireblade in single combat, which is he slew a Tau in close combat. It's but it's kind of like you're not sure whether to take it seriously or not, but it's meant to be a little tongue in cheek, guys. And actually, what's really interesting is, and this is purely by coincidence, I did a battle report with Johnny from Scholar Progenium this weekend, so look forward to seeing that one. With my Guard Mordians, 1,000 points versus his Tau. And as it played out, and there's no spoilers here, don't worry. There's no spoilers here. I mean, Gorst may have declared that the Tau force was completely crushed, but you'll have to watch the battle to see what actually happened. That'll be coming up either this week or next week. But the battle actually played out like that little bit of fluff there. The Mordians were bayonet charging down Tau. Were they successful or not? I'm going to be a little bit of a tease about this, guys. You're going to have to watch the battle report when it goes up there. But I have to say, it's an absolute cracker. An absolute emotional roller coaster of a battle report. Which sounds crazy, right? And, I'm hoping it comes across because obviously I do short form battle reports with, with end of turn summaries. So I really hope it does come across because it was a fantastic battle report. It started off with just one side taking a hammering, and then there was an amazing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the end result is really good. I really, I sometimes when you film a battle report, you feel like you're doing it just for the sake of doing it for the channel, but this time didn't feel like that at all, and I have to say it's probably one of the best battle reports that one of the best battles that I've had, and it's great that we've got it on battle reports. That should be coming up soon. If for any reason it doesn't come up, of course I'll let you guys know. So yeah, there we go. So that's the hobbying side of things, the fluff side of things. I always like to include a little bit of tactics in these Mordian Mondays, because I know some people are here for the hobbying, and some people are here for the tactics. I have to say that Pure Infantry Guard, I am loving being back on the Pure Infantry Guard train. You've always got some units somewhere that you can draw upon, and we've spoken about sort of force concentration versus board control before. Guard can struggle with Pure Infantry Guard can struggle with with force concentration, but when you've got board control, because you just cover so much of the board, you've always got something somewhere, which is great in either ITC games, where you can always grab that extra objective with an OBSEC unit, or in Maelstrom, which is very popular. It really allows you just to run a unit all over the place and to get those Maelstrom points. So I have to say, yeah, Pure Infantry Guard, I'm really feeling it again. I'm loving it. It's grueling. I'm really out of practice with it. I'm slow. I'm really slow, but I am getting back into it, and I'm picking my pace up. It's very good to after exploring taking hybrid armies and armored armies and mechanized armies for a lot of 8th. It's really good to finally be getting back to the pure infantry armies. One thing I do want to touch about in terms of tactics is I've really noticed having power swords in my guard army. Now, I know you can use index options to take any power weapons you want. You can take power fists, power swords, power axes, power mauls, power lances even. Crazy. But I've really been enjoying taking power swords because interestingly, they kind of fit in the go big, go home stance that I've been reliving. Because power axes and power mauls, they do give you that strength boost, but you sometimes find that, especially with power mauls, a lot of enemies will just make the save. And even with power axes, a lot of the time, a 5+ save can sometimes feel like a 2+ save against, a lot of the time. It seems weird, but always in 40k, people are really good at making 5+ saves. Whereas with the power sword, typically, you cut through the enemy's armor, and they get a 6-up save, or they don't get a save, which is, you do notice it. You do really notice it. Now, I've been taking a lot of power swords in my Mordians. I've been almost taking one in every squad, and almost every character has a power sword. I mean, I've got 2 Lord Commissars with power swords now, a junior officer with a power sword, a junior officer with a power fist, and then I believe I've got, out of the 9 infantry squads I've got painted up, 6 have got power swords. No, 5 have got power swords, and I've got another one in my veteran squad. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 more that I've got hidden around which I've forgotten about. And it really does make a difference. It really makes a difference having power swords, because what I found is a really interesting tactic is to have a Minister and Priest in a bubble with loads of other characters. Because the Minister and Priest gives all Astra Militarum units around him +1 attack, which means if you're putting him, for example, next to a couple of Lord Commissars with power swords, suddenly they've got 4 attacks each. And don't forget, Lord Commissars hit things on 2s, which is really effective. Really, really effective. And so I've been finding that when I've been running my Lord Commissars, I typically have one of my Lord Commissars alongside my Priest, and then sometimes I end up having 2 power sword wielding guys alongside my Priest. It makes a huge difference. It really makes a huge difference. And you can imagine in some of the battles that I've been doing, when I've got 2 infantry squads that charge in against the enemy unit, both of which have got power swords, and then I've got a character, at least 1 character in there as well with a power sword. Often I have 2, And then you've got the priest himself. You're looking at something like 6 power sword attacks from the 2 infantry squad sergeants, plus 4 from the typically Lord Commissar that's going in with them. And that alone is a minimum of 10 power sword attacks that I tend to take into combat. And I typically will charge 2 infantry squads against something. I rarely am able to get 3 in the way a lot of armies tend to have MSU, but I tend to be able to charge 2 infantry squads in with the Lord Commissar. 4 of those power sword attacks hitting on 2s, the other 6 are hitting on 3s. So typically I'm hitting with 7 power sword attacks. Okay, 7 power sword attacks, of which, you know, if I'm facing against Tau, for example, they're typically toughness 3. Which means I'm winning on 4s. Now, even if I'm attacking Marines, I'm winning on 5s. So that's, you know, you're going to get 3 power sword saves, wounds through, which the enemy physically isn't going to save. That's 3 dead Marines, or that's a dead Marine and a half if you're fighting Primaris. So that's 4 dead GEQ, you know, Guardsman equivalent, and that is significant because that is 4 dead, 3 to 4 dead from a squad before you've even factored in the priest with his 5 rerollable chainsword attacks. He's got 3 base, plus 1 for being a priest, plus 1 on a chainsword, plus 1 for being near a priest, his own aura. He hits on 4s, he rerolls all of them, and then you've got the squads next to him as well. 2 squads. Now they've got 8. There's 9 guys in those squads. Plus the sergeant. I've already factored the sergeant attacks in, so you've got 9 guys, that's 18 attacks per squad, 36 attacks from each squad. Now, assuming you've taken a few casualties, but even so, you're going to hit with, you know, maybe 15, and then you're going to wound with either, you know, between 5 and 8 attacks. That's another couple of dead Marines. That's easy, you know, factoring the priest's chainsword attacks as well. It's easily possible with non-catachans to just take out, you know, either a 10-man Guardsman equivalent squad, or a 5-man Marine equivalent squad. That's easy enough to do. And you might think, well, is that a great return on investment on the points? Well, don't forget that you're looking at this from a Guardsman point of view. So you're not even really going to go in against a full enemy squad. What you typically will do is you'll move up, lasgun them down, first rank fire, second rank fire. That will weaken them significantly. Then you can send the Guardsman in. And you're looking at, it's, you know, that little combo that I've just talked about is what, 170 points max. That's with me taking a flamer in there and a power sword. 170 points max. Now, assuming that I'm able to kill a squad of Space Marines easily with my shooting, and then I'm able to charge down another one and kill it. Now, those Space Marines have probably got some upgrades on. At the very least, you're looking at getting the majority of your points back in 1 turn. And because I'm running pure infantry, I'm going to have easily, somewhere within range, I'm going to have 2 full infantry squads, or majority full infantry squads, ready to go in. Yeah, I might have been brutalized and a few other squads might be damaged or killed, but I'm going to have the equivalent of 20 guardsmen that I can throw into the mix. So yeah, that's actually really, that is really effective. So I'm starting to look into the Emperor's Conclave infantry formation from Vigilus, simply because you can get a trait in there, I believe, that lets you reroll 1s in close combat. That's going to be really good. Now, I don't know if it'll affect my Commissars. I don't think it will. But it will affect my infantry squads. That's big. That's a big deal. And that would, thinking, start pairing that up with things like Krieg. Hitting on 3 rerolling 1s with your infantry squads with the priest nearby. That sounds tasty. But I don't know if Krieg can get access to the Vigilus detachments. Please, can people let me know down in the comments below, can Krieg Vigilus? Can Krieg take the Emperor's Conclave infantry formation? Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We're going to wrap it up there. Please leave lots and lots of comments. Anyone who can get those couple of references that I talked about, that's Bremerdan, Gorse and Sobel. Sobel and being strict on discipline. That's a big hint for you guys there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know about the Vigilus attachment. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.